Welcome to the Graduation Coach Campaign's video series. The Graduation Coach Campaign is an initiative in Philadelphia that is committed to supplying adults with the information they need to help students graduate high school and move on to college and successful careers. You can find more videos like this one at phillygradcoach.org. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on new videos as they are released. Please feel free to pause, rewind, and rewatch this video at any time to get the most out of your viewing experience. Hi, my name is Saya Hormozy and I am the director of the Graduation Coach Campaign. While many of our game plans focus on ensuring your students' success in school by helping them to navigate school systems like the high school application process or to answer concrete questions like, what is the difference between the ACT and SAT? We also want to help you to develop your students' own abilities and character by encouraging them to adopt certain traits and attitudes that will make them more likely to succeed, not only in the classroom, but beyond in the workplace and in life. For example, students who learn how to overcome challenges and make wise decisions are well equipped to accomplish their goals throughout life. To achieve this, students need both skills and strengths to help them succeed. So what do we mean by skills and strengths? A skill is a specific practical ability that a student can use in many different situations. The ability to read on grade level, for example, is a skill. A strength, on the other hand, is a more of an attribute like a positive personality trait that is linked to success, such as being resilient or flexible. Skills and strength take time to develop. However, as a graduation coach, there are many things you can do to help your student work on them. In this video, we will identify 5 key strengths that all students need to succeed. The key skills are discussed in another video entitled 5 Key Skills to Help Your Student Succeed. Many of us recognize that skills like reading or learning to play the piano are developed through practice and hard work. However, when we think about strengths like courage or creativity, we often think of them as innate. In other words, we often think of strengths as personality traits that are hard to change. The truth is that strengths, just like skills, can be developed through practice. Just as a student can learn to throw a basketball, students can learn to become more creative or more resilient. There are many strengths that are valuable for students. We have identified 5 that are important for all students to have. These key strengths can help your student through every stage of his or her life. The 5 key strengths we have identified are creativity, curiosity, resilience, resourcefulness, and self-awareness. Let's go through these one by one and talk about how you can work on them with your student. The first key strength is creativity. Creativity is often described as thinking outside the box. People who are creative come up with seemingly new ideas that others have never thought of before. There are many ways to encourage your student to become more creative. First, you should encourage your student to question assumptions. Many creative breakthroughs have come from people who dared to question conventional wisdom. When your student sounds sure of something, push back and ask more questions. Why does your student believe this? Is there another way of looking at the issue? Next, encourage your student to generate a large number of ideas. This process is often called brainstorming. The key to effective brainstorming is to withhold judgment. When students are worried that their ideas are silly, they won't be able to let ideas pour out. Help your student understand that great ideas often come out of many failed ideas. Encourage your student to generate ideas freely without feeling self-conscious about whether they make sense. These are only 2 ways to help your student develop creativity, but there are many, many more. Many websites, like the one listed below, have tons of ideas on how to help your student hone their creativity. The second key strength is curiosity. Curiosity is the strong desire to ask questions and learn how the world works. Students who are curious are more motivated to learn. This can increase school performance, but it will also help students become lifelong learners. How can you help your student be curious? First, be sure to model curiosity. Show your student that you, yourself, are excited to learn new things. Talk about some recent news that you found fascinating, or mention questions that you were wondering about. Students model their behavior off of the adults in their lives. If you want your student to value curiosity, the first step is to show that you yourself are curious. Second, encourage your student to make predictions before giving him or her an answer. This helps students become more involved in the learning process. Instead of merely being told information, students will then want to see whether their predictions were right, and they will become more interested in the answer. Encouraging students to make informed guesses when they ask a question is a great way to stimulate curiosity. The third key strength is resilience. Resilience is the ability to continually overcome challenges. Most students will face obstacles on their path to academic and career success. Some of these obstacles may be directly school-related, such as having trouble understanding a school subject, but others of these obstacles may be more personal, such as a conflict with friends at school. Whatever obstacles they face, all students must learn to overcome adversity. So, how can you help your student become more resilient? First, ask your student what challenges he or she has already overcome in the past. By reflecting on past challenges, your student can recognize that adversity is not permanent. Remind your student regularly that there is a positive future, that current challenges won't last forever. Second, help your student recognize his or her internal strength. You can do this by praising your student for his or her courage and persistence. When students face major challenges, it can be easy for them to feel overwhelmed. However, in the face of adversity, even a small step can be a major accomplishment. Students should feel proud of their ability to overcome adversity. Finally, try to create a safe and structured environment for your student. When students are overwhelmed by obstacles, they may feel that they have little control over their lives. Give your student a sense of stability and security. For example, sign him or her up for an after-school program, or simply establish a daily routine. When students find some consistency in their chaotic lives, they can start to feel safer expressing themselves and making decisions. Above all, believe in your power as a graduation coach. For students facing adversity, having even one supportive and caring adult can make a huge difference. The next key strength is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is the ability to find tools and information to solve problems. Resourceful students know where to look to find their own solutions. How can you encourage resourcefulness in your student? First, don't give your students easy answers. When your student asks you a question, start by asking him or her where they think the answer could be found. Encourage your student to look up the information. For example, let's say your student asks you, "Who is William Shakespeare?" Instead of just telling him or her the answer, show your student how to use an internet search engine to find the information. Second, show your student how to use different kinds of resources. For example, internet sources are a good source of factual information. However, if your student needs advice, the best resource might instead be other adults. Instead of just telling your student what you would do, encourage your student to also reach out to his or her personal network. At the end of the day, students do need support for difficult situations, but they also need to learn to stand on their own 2 feet. Students who are resourceful are better prepared to be independent and successful adults. Our final key strength is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to look inward and reflect on who we are, what we want, and what we believe in. Students who are self-aware have a strong sense of identity and purpose. They know who they are and what they want out of life. Why is self-awareness so important? Let's look at a specific example. Someday, your student will have to apply for jobs. Two of the most common questions he or she will face in a job interview are, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? When employers ask about strengths and weaknesses, they are really gauging your student's level of self-awareness. People who can look inward are more likely to ask deep questions, reevaluate their goals, and think about how they can improve themselves. Employers value self-awareness because they know that those employees are the most likely to grow and improve over time. So if self-awareness is so important, how can you help your student work on it? First, ask your student questions that encourage self-reflection. For example, we hear opinions every day, from interviews on the news to friends at the dinner table. When you hear someone share an opinion, ask your student what he or she thinks about the issue. Encourage them to hear both sides of an argument and then share how they feel about it. This helps students identify their values. Finally, expose your student to new ideas and experiences. This can be as simple as encouraging your student to read stories about other people or helping your student volunteer for a disadvantaged population. The more students are exposed to the perspectives and experiences of other people, the more likely they are to look inward and reevaluate their beliefs. So let's replay the highlights. We have gone through all of the key strengths. The 5 key strengths we have discussed are creativity, curiosity, resilience, resourcefulness, and self-awareness. Remember, a strength is a positive personality trait that is linked to success. Strengths, just like skills, can be developed through practice. So, what is the very next step you can do to help your student develop these 5 key strengths? Choose just one of the recommendations we talked about in this video and focus on applying it this week to your interactions with your students. For example, you could make sure to talk about topics you are interested in. You could commit to making your student find his or her own answers, or you could ask your student about his or her opinions on common issues. Whatever key strength you choose to focus on first, recognize that developing strengths takes time and consistent reinforcement. Early on, you might have to continually remind yourself to put these recommendations into practice. Eventually, though, the process will become automatic and you will be on your way to helping your student develop his or her key strengths. To stay up to date on all the latest from the Graduation Coach campaign, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. And for more information on other ways to support your student and more videos like this one, go to youtube.com/gradcoachcampaign.